environment all year round by complying, reducing your energy costs, reducing your water usage. Things like our solar panels are fantastic. You're getting a lot of rebates at the moment on solar panels as part of renovations in new homes. That's starting to wind down now. A lot of good things for a 6 stars: insulation, material choice internally and externally. Fans in every room. You wouldn't believe the difference what a fan makes in the room. You don't always have to go down the air conditioning track either. There's a lot of other options out there. I don't know if you're like me. I love having the doors open, even on a sunny day. I hate closing the house up and having the air conditioning rattling off in the corner behind my ear. There's a lot of options there. It comes down to design. How do you design the property? Making use of what we call the solstices and winds and attracting those into the home. Creating just natural breezes, just natural cooling, and that way you're not constantly running cooling devices or heating devices in the winter time. Okay, and the other most big important thing is choosing a builder. It's almost like getting married for the second time, or having somebody, the third person in that relationship. Trust me, it is like that. If you don't get along with your builder, the project is not going to run well. If you get along with the builder, fantastic, you will have no problems whatsoever. So you've got to be able to click with the builder. A big thing with also builders is get referrals. Find out what they've done in the past. How did they go? Don't just ask, is he a good builder? Yeah, he's a good, it's fantastic. Find out how he went. How was he with changes? How was he with cost overruns? How did he treat you? How did he talk to you? Find out about that, because I tell you that this guy is very important to you. And it could be as simple as just giving you the beer at the end of the day to make me happy. But it is like having that third person in marriage. He becomes your best friend for about 6 months. Okay? Alright, so basically, I'm probably miles over time, am I? Alright, I'll keep going. Yep, okay, fantastic. Okay, so basically we're just touching on the process. If you decide to become a client of Synergy Design and Drafting, we'll go through this in an extensive version with you anyway. It takes us about 9 minutes to take you through our process of finding out if we're suitable for you. Okay, so our initial consultation, we start off that with our free initial consultation. That goes for about 60 to 90 minutes depending on the type of project that you're looking. We come out on site, we prefer both everybody to be there that's going to be there. We delve into what you want to do with the renovation. How are you going to go about it? Have you thought about those budget issues? Have you found out what the property's worth now and what you think it's going to be worth down the track? We really delve into what you're looking at doing. We also cover the most other important things. What are the local council and state regulations that your house must comply with? Believe you me, case in Barton, we're doing a brand new house in Barton at the moment. The regulations across the road are totally different to the regulations on the side of the road that we're working on. Because it simply came down to the fact that that house was built in after 1952. Sometimes you wonder why does that make a difference, but that's the regulations. We could do a lot more with our house because it was built after 1952. Things like that. So we go through that whole process through. We try and explain it to you. We want to give you as much information as possible, so you know what you can expect up through the whole process, and that's what we cover in that 60 to 90 minute process. And at the end of that process, 9 times out of 10, we will give you a quote that will take you from the design process right through to approvals, and also introducing you to some of our builders if you don't know anybody that we work with. Concept design. This is the fun bit. This is where we take your client design brief and put it into practice. So we pop out on site once again, we do all the property searches that we need to do, we get a really, really good feeling with the existing home, we get a really, really good understanding of what you want to achieve, and we prepare those concept designs for you. Now the concept designs are fantastic. We do presentation in 3D imaging. We also get traditional plans, artistic presented plans, but we also give you 3D imaging. We find it some people, we're designers, it's easy for us to visualise things in our head, we can see that, but some clients have problems seeing that, so the 3D is absolutely fantastic. If you want to see how the home is going to look once it's built, that's the level that we take that to. And also too, we offer at the end of that process, once we've gone through the design process with you, we offer what we call a budget estimate. Basically, we give the plans to one of our preferred builders or a builder that you might want to work with and say, okay, can you just put an estimate cost of construction on this project? Then that way, you and I know that this project, yes, it is on budget, no, it's not. Okay, so if it's not, what do we do to get it back on budget? Okay? Very important step in the process. Town planning. Now this comes back to that whole thing again I was talking to you about in Paddington shortly ago, was the town planning process. We didn't have to go through a town planning process on one side of the street, the client on the other side had to. It's very pursuant to your home, your property, where it is. You've got height restrictions throughout Brisbane. Generally, in a residential block, it's 8.5 metres. But depending on what you want to do with that, there is provision to going over that 8.5 metres as long as you stay within the secondary regulations. Okay, now, this lovely little next bit. Overland flow and flood paths. At this point in time, we know there's going to be a change in the regulations of recent events. We don't know what it's going to be. But basically, all we know is Brisbane City Council and surrounding areas are reviewing heavily what they are going to do with those regulations. Now, it is very, very important. Some suburbs that you might not think that are floodable are. And this is some of the searches that we can do initially in the process to tell you. And these are some of the regulations that we have to abide to as well. Overland flow paths and overland flow are two different things, but we go through that process of being able to look at that. And that's something, if you're looking at buying a property, that we can flag early for you and say, okay, is it minimal, is it quite extensive, what can we do to get around that, and where is it? And most of these properties are Line Kettering Brook down here, they've all got an overland flow tag attached to them. DCP, Demolition Control Principle. Now that's the control that the Brisbane City Town Planners have over existing homes that are built prior to 1946. So there's a grey area between 46 and 52, basically, which means unless the house is dilapidated, is going to fall down in the next cyclone or the next breeze that comes past it, you will not be allowed to remove that property unless you go through an extensive town planning process, or you will not be able to renovate the front of that property. You can bring it up to, you can clean it up, obviously you can paint it, you can do whatever you like to it, but there's a limitation. It's right down to the point of shifting the front stairs. Okay, so these are important things about doing renovation. Zoning and property sizes will have an effect as well. We'll advise you. This is something that we talked to you about in that initial consultation. Before we come out and see you, we have a dossier in your property about this thick that we can come out and talk to you about it, so we know what you're trying to achieve. Yes, you can, or how can you do that? Alright, working drawings. So this is the technical side of things. This is where we put all the plans together that the builders are going to use to build your property. These are also the ones that you use for council approvals. They'll have technical information, beam sizes, timber sizes, basically what are you going to put in the home, timber floors, tile floors, carpet floors, type of windows that you're going to use, and this is how we, with the design process, but then this is how we put the information on the plan to show you how we're meeting that 6-star rating as well. Okay, coordination, so I'm getting towards the end. Coordination and approvals process, right, so this is stage 5, this is right down the bottom. This is then when we liaise and look after the structural engineering, any town planning issues. We organise a survey, generally that happens fairly early in the piece. If you need the, we are fairly good as interior designers, but we also do have help from interior designers as well. We look after the Energy Star rating. If you need landscaping design, we can do that, but then we also too can work with helping you get the builder's quotes and putting you in contact with people that you need to talk to. And the approval process, building certification. Okay, that's where you send the plans down to get your approval. Okay, so just things to remember on the recap for your renovation project. Think first, what do you need basically, and what do you want to need, and separating those two, and setting a realistic budget. Building costs, can you afford to do it? What you want to achieve. Ensure your property market value prior and after. Consider the environment, and I cannot stress this enough. Really consider the environment because it is only going to get dearer to run.